Welcome to So Many Receipts. I'm Shelley Seddon.
And I'm Fleur Michelle.
And we're two entertainment journos based in Sydney, Australia who love to analyse and talk about all things reality TV and pop culture.
In Deep Dive, we go all in on stuff we're dying to know about, plus chats you won't want to miss. Welcome to our latest Deep Dive into And Just Like That, Season 3. Also known as I Couldn't Help But Wonder, what the hell have they done to this show?
Exactly. On Receipt Roundup, we unpack the main storyline, which is Carrie and Aiden's situationship, which I am now calling a shit-situationship. And here we do a deep dive into the other storylines. So as I mentioned before on the Roundup, I really thought this episode was a dud.
Well, we've thought that all the episodes have been duds pretty much.
Yeah.
So this is the worst for you. Hang on, there's still 9 episodes to go. It might just get
true.
worse.
Yes, exactly. So there was one storyline that was slightly amusing, and I thought, that was with Miranda. She's back on the BBC again. I love this for her. The whole Human Rights Watch job, appearing on camera, perfect. She's getting tips from her love interest, Dolly, who is a producer with the BBC, and she's trying to figure out how to be good on camera. And Dolly tells her if she's rushing to stop, take a breath, which she does when she's on camera, but her timing is unfortunate because she pauses on the word country, which sounds like C-U-N-T tree. You understand what I mean.
But I didn't like the storyline.
Really?
Sorry. Especially when all those silly British people come over for tea with her. I thought it was straight out of a bad old British Benny Hill show meets a Carry On movie. They were also hammy and overacting.
Yeah, I didn't think it was good for an alcoholic.
British people are cool.
Yeah. Well, it
was crazy.
It was a bunch of, really drunk people coming over, and she's, an alcoholic. I thought that wasn't good. But anyway, this incident goes viral and Miranda becomes known as Wild See You Next Tuesday meme, which I also kind of love that for her. I mean, they do say any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
and
generally.
I did think the part about Dolly shutting down and being quiet during the party because she says she pulls back when she likes someone, that was just weird. These are highly accomplished 60-year-old women who communicate for a living.
Yes, again, why are they giving a crap?
Yeah.
And why don't they just grow up a bit more and own their stuff? There is a lot of game playing as an ongoing theme in this show.
Yeah.
Maybe people still do play games in relationships when they're 60. I think it just sounds exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Just say what you want and then take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. So they have decades of life and relationship experience and probably, have been in therapy for decades. Say what you are thinking. But onto the Charlotte storyline. This was actually really a Harry storyline. We meet Harry's dad, Pop. So he's getting older.
Pop.
Yeah, Pop. He's getting older and he's becoming a bit forgetful, which is something a lot of us can relate to. The sandwich generation of having to manage kids and also aging parents. And we actually rarely see parents on this show.
Thank God. Pop and the old lady he was interested in were boring.
Yeah.
I didn't like Pop.
The only other time I can think of, a parent was Steve's annoying mother.
I actually liked Steve's annoying mother. That was one I liked. And I remember she got dementia, right? And Miranda had to kind of help take care of her. I actually liked how that was handled in Sex and the City.
Yeah, agree. And seeing your parents get old is very confronting. And of course, you start to think of how you're getting old as well. And we're at the age where things start happening. There are aches and pains. And unfortunately, like I mentioned last week, I feel like this storyline is heading in a sad direction.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We have to get used to seeing them all age on this show and other people around them getting old. But God, can't the ladies just go to a male strip show or something like Magic Mike, the stage show, and talk shit and remind us that we're not pensioners yet?
Yes.
We've done that.
Yes.
We had fun. Why can't they? The most fun Carrie has had so far is eating KFC with Seema.
Yeah, I agree. So we've been seeing Harry have some issues down below. And last week he peed his pants in the club. And this week he isn't able to perform with Charlotte, which freaks him out. So he has always been absolutely crazy about Charlotte. So of course this is an issue. I just don't want to have to deal with another depressing storyline.
Yeah, I mean, even the Golden Girls were more lighthearted than this, and they were all about 90 years old on the show. I'm sorry. I'm sure something will happen. He'll need chemo or something. I'm just warning you. This episode, Seema's storyline was also kind of sidelined, right? Last week in Virginia, we debated her being Ryan Serhant's number 2. She said she didn't want to go back. So why do we need scenes of her and Ryan discussing this again? She already decided to go out on her own.
Yes, exactly. Completely unnecessary. And I think it would be great if she did partner with Ryan and she started a new career appearing on $1 Million Listing.
Yes.
I mean, she would be perfect for that. She's already glamorous and wears amazing clothes. She is made for that show. And she could be like the grande dame of New York real estate and teach those young brokers a thing or two.
Yeah, exactly. And does Ryan have acting experience?
I actually don't know.
Should look him up because I thought he delivered his lines really well and he was kind of amusing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him being a semi-regular.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they have to drag the show into doing more modern stuff, I agree. They should totally make Seema a reality TV star with him.
Yes.
And then kind of take the piss out of being on a reality TV show. That would actually be good.
Exactly.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so last up we have LTW, the whole editor storyline, which no one really cared about. It suddenly got interesting with the introduction of Marion. Despite the old lady name, Marion is a dude and he is hot.
Firstly, no guy these days would be caught dead parading a name around like, Marion, surely you would change it. That was ridiculous.
Yes.
They could have just named him a male-female name like Carrie, like Captain Carrie and Below Deck.
Exactly.
That would have been just as confusing. Another writing fail.
Yes, I agree. So we knew that they had they had cast a hot guy who was interested in LTW, even though she's happily married to Herbert. And as I mentioned before, I've been listening to the Writer's Room podcast with Michael Patrick King. So he said they wanted to chip away at Lisa's perfect facade and throw her off balance. So the writers wanted to show just because you're married doesn't mean you're dead. And they wanted to explore what happens when someone good looking starts working at your office.
Okay, fine. I like that storyline. It reminds me of the days of old dilemmas that they used to come up with all the time. But can they just hurry up with it? Because of all we've got so far with these two married couples is Harry and his prostate or whatever's going on down there. There's really not much else happening.
Yes. Also a reminder, last week we mentioned that there is going to be a Hot Fellas pop-up bakery in Sydney. So this is a reference to Anthony's Bakery in the show, Hot Fellas. It is this Friday, today, Sunday, June 27th through 29th at Taylor Square in Darlinghurst. So they've already done this in New York. And
it's free stuff, right? Free pastries, croissants, coffee, etc. each day until everything's gone. Free coffee and carbs.
Yes.
They don't eat carbs on the show that often, but, you know, we're eating it down here. I still don't think anyone in Sydney will understand what Hot Fellas is or that's connected to this show.
We'll have to watch our Instagram.
They'll just say, oh, a free pastry, yeah. What? Oh, I don't watch that show. Never watched it. Anyway, and just like that, that is all we have time for. Join us next week for our deep dive into episode 5.